How's it going, everyone? It's Milwaukee coming back at you once again, and today we're going to be discussing Justice League Volume 1 Origins by Geoff Johns with art by Jim Lee. Let's get into it. The contents of the story take place 5 years ago. Batman pursues a parademon across the rooftops of Gotham City while the GCPD pursue Batman and the parademon. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, is alerted to an unauthorized alien presence in Gotham and he arrives on the scene. Batman and Green Lantern, they get acquainted with one another, shall we say, and the parademon ends up self-destructing, leaving behind some type of box device. Thinking that this alien could be related to the alien in Metropolis, Green Lantern and Batman head to Metropolis to see what Superman has to say about all this. Before they can locate Superman, Superman locates them, and they have a throwdown, resulting in Green Lantern calling in his friend the Flash for backup against the alien. The Flash is able to defuse the situation and get everything calmed down, and then the heroes move underground to avoid the press and to discuss their next moves. Meanwhile, at Detroit-based Star Labs, Dr. Silas Stone, he's examining another one of these boxes when it starts to ping and an invading army of parademons invade, and his son, Victor Stone, gets caught up in the mayhem. Wonder Woman decides to join the battle while Vic Stone undergoes cybernetic enhancement treatment at Star Labs. After Wonder Woman links up with Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, and the Flash, a new hero emerges known as Aquaman, and together, the heroes deduce that the parademons are kidnapping the humans and taking them to this tower that appears offshore Metropolis, and they are converting the people into parademons. Cyborg, he escapes Star Labs, he confronts the parademons, and he ends up getting transported to the rest of the heroes via these boxes, boom tubes, and we have the arrival of the big bad villain, Darkseid. Superman ends up getting shot with one of Darkseid's eye laser beams, and he ends up getting captured. Batman gives Green Lantern a pep talk on strategy and what it takes to be a leader, and then he intentionally gets himself captured so that he could go and rescue Superman, while Green Lantern leads a charge against Darkseid. Wonder Woman and Aquaman, they decide to try to blind Darkseid by each one stabbing him in an eye with their respective weapons. Turns out, the whole reason that Darkseid is invading these planets is he's searching for his daughter. Batman ultimately rescues Superman and they make their escape as Cyborg interfaces with the mother boxes and shuts down all the portals just after Superman knocks Darkseid into one. Darkseid claims that he will return. The Justice League is officially formed and recognized by the President of the United States and the rest of the world at large. We get a brief backup story here in the final issue where two guys meet in London and they're talking about how the Justice League are considered the world's first superheroes. Then they muse that they themselves will be considered supervillains, and it leaves it at that. Then we get a second backup feature here starring the character Pandora, the woman who created the new reality that is the New 52, and she claims in this backstory that the Justice League are going to help her along with her mission, whether they want to or not, setting up things to come. As far as a few things that I enjoyed about this story arc here, Justice League Origins, I enjoyed seeing all the doctors together in Star Labs, from the past continuity, like Dr. Evo and Dr. Morrow. These are big time players here with the Doctor's world. I also enjoyed how there's a lot of plot threads throughout the story that are going to get enhanced upon further down the line. Like we got those two backup features here with those two mysterious villains, and Pandora, And, this is just setting up things to come and it give you something to look forward to. We'll have to see whether or not it delivers because I've never read this before, so we'll find out. But it does sort of make you intrigued as to what's to come next. As for some things that I didn't really like about this volume here, I didn't really care for all the infighting that the heroes did. Every time they would meet each other, they got to fight each other. It didn't make sense to me, especially with Hal Jordan, that he didn't believe that Batman was real. That he didn't believe that, like Superman or Wonder Woman existed. Or that he was constantly cracking jokes on Aquaman. It's like, you're Hal Jordan. You've been to space. You've been to the planet Oa. You've seen all these alien races. You are a member of the Green Lantern Corps. And yet you can't wrap your head around the fact that Batman exists? Give me a break. Also, I didn't really like the fact that, the Flash and Green Lantern have this whole backstory together that they sort of explain away like a one-liner about how they teamed up previously to fight off Gorilla Grodd, in this new 52 continuity, when this should be, theoretically the first time all these characters are meeting. I know that Green Lantern pretty much had his continuity intact coming into the new 52 because it was at the middle point of like Jeff Johns' run. So maybe that's what that's alluding to. But I don't know. I just felt it was out of place. Like, why would again Green Lantern not think that Batman was real, but he's totally cool with the Flash, a super speedster. He's questioning Superman, yet he knows all these other aliens. Another thing that I disliked about this volume was the attempts at humor, the comedy, if you will. I mean, multiple times throughout this book, Green Lantern is calling Aquaman Aquafresh. He doesn't believe that Aquaman exists, that it could be real, because isn't Aquaman just a joke told by Conan O'Brien? Like, why are we mentioning Conan O'Brien in this book? Like, do people even know who that is anymore? I know who he is, and I've seen some of the skits, because Aquaman in the real world is a joke, or at least he used to be, until Jeff Johns reinvented him in his upcoming Aquaman run. But for Green Lantern to be pulling out these jokes and stuff, it just took me out of the story. It's like, like why? It doesn't add anything to the story. All it does is detract. And why is Aquaman sitting there taking this shit from Green Lantern? He's super strong. If you take Aquaman seriously, he's a pretty badass character. It just doesn't take Jason Momoa to make people like Aquaman. Another thing I didn't really care for about this story is the whole Wonder Woman being a fish out of water. I know that's typical with her character. I remember back in the day, she got a lot, or I should say writer Jodi Picoult got a lot of shit, I think, for making like Wonder Woman not understand how to pump gas into a car. But here, it's perfectly fine that Jeff Johns has Wonder Woman not know what ice cream is. Like, it's not established how long she's been off with Themyscira and into the real world here, but she is with Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor is like keeping an eye on her. You think she would know food. I don't know. I just never really liked that part of a Wonder Woman story. But what are you going to do? And I got to say here, I've read a lot of Jeff Johns books and reviewed them here. I've been on the record saying that Jeff Johns is one of my favorite writers of all time. But here with this book, I feel like the pop culture references finally, I just hit a wall with them. There's a scene early in the book when the Parademon, he's running away from Green Lantern and Batman, and he turns into like a spider form, and Green Lantern goes, "What is that guy? A Transformer?" Now, usually when this stuff would happen, when Green Lantern would mention Star Wars or like the Terminator or whatever, you would just kind of go, okay, whatever. But here, I felt like it was just a lot, and then you throw in like the Conan O'Brien stuff, and then Green Lantern calling Aquaman Aquafresh. It's just, I don't know. I feel like the writing suffered on this book. But hey, maybe that's just me. Jim Lee, he's Jim Lee. His art is his art. I've alluded to in the past that I didn't really like his work in the New 52. And here's like sort of like a prime example. Is it good? Sure. Well, I just think it was better when he was drawing like Hush and stuff. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if he was just rushed for this one but it's like it's good, but it's just not as good as I've come to know him. So whatever. Make of that what you will. And another thing that I disliked about the book was the characters, not taking any of this seriously. It's end of the world, apocalyptic times, and they're cracking these jokes. They're not believing, oh, you're real, I'm real, he's real, who's real? Just if they're not taking it seriously, then why should I take it seriously, And I know a lot of this is part of the New 52, the new attitudes, the making the characters younger. They're supposed to be like more hip or more like whatever. So it just sort of rings hollow when you got these characters like Hal Jordan or Superman saying these things, and it's just like it just feels out of character for them. And that's, I guess, a whole part of the whole New 52. Like they're cracking jokes, and the face of danger, and it's just this is supposed to be like the origin of the Justice League, right? These characters are coming together for the first time, and it just doesn't feel like a big deal. It's like whatever. I don't know. You guys, let me know what your thoughts on that. I know a lot of people had problems with the characterizations of the characters in the New 52. Perhaps this is just stemming from that, but something felt off here. I just didn't know. I couldn't put my finger on what it was, but I found myself not really caring for the story because the characters were just like, oh, whatever. So, with all that being said, and thinking about it for a while, mulling it over, going back and forth, I guess you could tell I didn't really enjoy Justice League Origins all that much. It's not the worst story I've ever read. As far as an introduction into this New 52 world, I feel like it was done better, in Grant Morrison's Superman, or Action Comics, I should say. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and give Justice League Origins by Geoff Johns and Jim Lee a 3 out of 5. Didn't live up to my expectations. Not what it could have been. But hey, who knows? It's only the beginning. And until next time, I'll see you there.